Versatile Mage. Chapter 229 Spotlight. This was a warehouse that was clearly going to undergo renovation very soon. It was about the size of a classroom, and there was some junk inside of it. At this moment, there was a bit of cold air inside. That was because the center of the warehouse had thick ice shackles locked around a creature with a physique similar to a leopard. This creature's fur was exuberant, even covering its eyes. Its long tail showed a fluorescent light in the dark and looked rather glamorous. So beautiful. Once the night comes, we'll take it to the destination. The mission can be considered to have been completed by us, Shen Mingxiao proclaimed to his squad. I'm so tired, we almost let it go. Not good, I need to go and take a rest. Luo Song rubbed the fat on his body as he said this. We can just leave these three here, Shen Mingxiao said to the other three. In order to catch the shadow beast this time, Shen Mingxiao and Luo Song had put in great efforts. The other three people felt as though they had profited off of them. Thus, this kind of task of looking after the shadow beast was naturally their job. The other three did not say anything, sitting inside the warehouse as they prepared to guard it overnight. Luo Song and Shen Mingxiao walked together to a harbor restaurant to eat their fill. They chatted as they walked back to their residence afterward. Brother Luo, don't worry. Once we enter the three-step pagoda, is it even worthwhile for you to use my network to get rid of that person? We could deal with him ourselves. Humph, how funny. If it wasn't for Shen Mingxiao, coming late to school, then how could we have let a country bumpkin like him impress everyone? Shen Mingxiao said with a smile as he patted Luo Song's shoulder. Exactly. In this Pearl Institute, we are the ones who should be stirring up trouble. With our families joining hands, why would we be scared of the Bai family, or even the Mu family? Luo Song said, a smile emerging on his face. After the two of them had eaten their fill, they wobbled along, wanting to go back home to sleep. None of them expected their phone to start ringing at this time. Shen Mingxiao looked, and saw it was a call from his older brother, Shen Lin. He picked up the phone with a smile. Big brother, did you call to ask about our progress? Don't worry, I won't disappoint you, since you used the resources of the Hunters Union to help me finish this mission. We've already caught the shadow beast. Is that so? Then how come I got some news saying there will be someone called Mo Fan dragging the shadow beast to the beast iron cage? Shen Lin said calmly. How could that be? The shadow beast is currently under our control. That guy must be bluffing, Shen Mingxiao said disdainfully. How about I give them a call and ask? Luo Song said, a bit worried. He fished out his phone as he dialed one of the squad members that was left behind, but the call did not connect. All three of their numbers did not go through. Shen Mingxiao and Luo Song glanced at each other, thinking the same thing. Shit. The two of them sprinted to the old warehouse. They discovered the door to the warehouse was open, and there was no longer a shadow beast inside. There were only their three squad members fainted on the ground. Disgraceful thing. He dares to rob us of our goods. Let's go, let's find him. Shen Mingxiao immediately started to rage. They had spent so much effort to catch the shadow beast, but then it was stolen by someone else. How could Shen Mingxiao's proud nature possibly put up with this? Luo Song was even angrier. How could it be Mo Fan again? He had already crossed him 3 or 4 times. This time he wouldn't let him go, no matter what. Pearl Institute's beast taming iron cage was provided for the use of summoner students. It was there to prevent some of the summoned beasts from getting out of control. The beast taming iron cage was at the very edge of the Azure campus of the Pearl Institute, a place that could be considered very close to an old hill. Normally, there wouldn't be many people there. When the news of Mo Fan catching the shadow beast spread, the eyes of practically all of the students who were still confused up until now started shining. They were already waiting to ambush him there. The funny thing was, those who had the same idea were not few in number. There were only a few places where they could hide, so it looked like several big people were entering a small cupboard, one by one. Some of them were already familiar with one another, so they could only awkwardly greet each other. Shit, I must turn this scoundrel into a swelling corpse. He actually dared to call everyone over, Shen Mingxiao said, nearly going crazy. The shadow beast that he had spent so much energy on was actually being announced to everyone. A group of idiots had come here to get their share of the action. Even if Shen Mingxiao's ability was better, he could not fight against nearly 1,000 students. Big Sister Mu, did Mo Fan really catch the shadow beast? I Tutu whispered as she hid on a rooftop. Didn't you see the picture? Mu Nujiao said. But did his brain malfunction? Although he caught the shadow beast, why did he take a selfie and send it to his friends group? I Tutu wondered. I Tutu had already taken off her underwear and was preparing to shower and then go to bed. Who would have thought that when she was swiping her friend group feed, she would see a selfie? The person in the selfie was Mo Fan, and next to him was a spirit wolf that had seized the shadow beast. Heavens, did this guy go crazy, sending things on the newsfeed? Whoever caught the shadow beast would normally cling onto its tail while conducting themselves normally, and secretly deliver it to the beast iron cage. This Mo Fan had directly put himself in the spotlight as he made himself seem like a god. Was he purposely teasing everyone? Whether he was teasing or not, we will see when the time comes. The two of them turned silent as they surveyed the 1,000 people who were hiding in that narrow ground. Spirit Wolf, I see the Spirit Wolf. The shadow beast is also there, it's being dragged by the Spirit Wolf. Heavens, the great demon really came. Suddenly, the edge of the campus that seemed so tranquil boiled up. It was like every single person's brain had one question reverberating. Did something in Mo Fan's brain break? Mo Fan came according to schedule. He followed the asphalt road with maple trees along it as he directly walked forward. The maple trees were on both sides. He could see students using various methods to hide themselves all over the place. They were all feeling sluggish, as they couldn't believe that the great demon would really drag the shadow beast over. After the end of the road was a plaza with a fountain. In the center of the fountain were a few sculptures of summoned beasts. These sculptures were immersed in the water, with some moss growing on them. They seemed to have been there for many years. Hiding behind the sculptures was Bai Zhangfeng and his squad, the gazes already fixed on Mo Fan walking over. They glanced at one another. On the other side of the fountain sculpture was a forest. The refined Jia Wenqing and the senior Fu Tianming opened their eyes, unable to believe it. Mo Fan continued to walk forward. At this moment, there were a couple of people who could no longer stand by and surrounded him. The thing was, no one dared to make the first move. Everyone knew of the incredible strength of the great demon. The many people in the place right now knew that the first person to make a move would be the first person to suffer losses. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.